Hello everyone. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. I'm just gonna go ahead and put together a video for you guys today. Welcome back to my channel. I know I haven't been made a video in quite a minute now. Just been so tied up with a lot of things, and I'm gonna go ahead and put together this pick three secret story system that I have. I'm gonna go ahead and run some numbers here for you guys. And this story system really just narrows down some numbers for you for tracking as well as playing the best rundown. I mean, the system that I have provides that, which gives you like a whole list of rundowns that you guys can use to narrow down your search, and which provides all the information here. And the story system itself, I mean, it provides you the story system here itself. It breaks it down for you. It gives you the mirrors, the flip numbers. It also provides you the story system itself. And then on the right side here, I'm going to go ahead and use I'm just moving the whole sheet right now across. And this side of it is just providing you like your calendar, your tracker, which you can update inside the tracking sheet here. So if you track your numbers, so this is an area where you can go ahead and update your numbers here. So the way it works is you go into the data sheet, you enter your numbers in this section, and when you put a number in here, so today I just updated this right now. I refresh everything else to this year. I like to start fresh on everything else. So every time I do anything new, I like to always just base it off of the year versus going back into 2025. But that's up to you. I mean, if you want to search that far, that's really your decision. I mean, you can always change the date here to narrow down the history as well, because this is endless. This sheet will continue to go down all the way down, just adding, because this is an Excel sheet. You know, you can have thousands and thousands of numbers, and you can still use that to track the numbers. Okay, and this is the one that I have here, where you can enter your numbers here. So the way it works is if you need to update your numbers. So let's say the number came out tonight as 1, 2, 3. Okay, so then I hit add. So right now, what will happen is it'll go down to the next line here, which today is the 24th of January. So I'll hit add. Now update it here, and then it goes here. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And then the cool thing about this is if you go back to your rundown, now you have it here. Okay. So now you have it here in the calendar. And that 1, 2, 3 hasn't come up, so you just hit run here. Automatic updates for you. Okay, so now you have your numbers here in front of you when you search, so that way you don't keep going back and forth to try to find out what the number was showing. You know what I mean? So it'll make things a lot easier for you to search faster and to be accurate on your numbers. And inside the sheet as well is the temperature sheet. So if you have any numbers that have come up, these are the last 60 days draws. You can narrow it down to 90 days if the date, if you're in 3 months past, 80 days, 10 days last draw. You hit update. It provides you the last 10 days draws that came up. So the way it works is this is a digit. So if the number was 1, 2, 3, it'll count the digits of 1, 2, 3. Okay, the first column, the second column, they're column numbers. So if the number came out as 674, then there would be 674, right? So first digit, second digit, so it's just positioning where your numbers are at. So but that's how this thing counts. So if I go back to the data sheet, I actually need to remove this number back off because this is not the good number. So I'll go ahead and remove that. And then I'll just hit update here and remove the back off here. Okay. So today's the 24th. So that way you see the 24th date is today and that hasn't come out yet. So let's go back into the tracking temperature sheet. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and draw the last 30 days. I know it's only been the month of today is the 24th, so there's only these numbers that have come up. So I'm in Arizona, so I'm just looking at Arizona numbers here. So these are all the numbers that have come up, right? So now we're looking at for the 24th. So what I have done here is just really to show you how this hot and cold number things work. Okay. So let's go ahead and pull this here. Okay, so the last number that I have come up, so the cold numbers right now that you might play might be these two last numbers, the 5 and the 9, because it has a position itself to hit the third column, okay, the third digit. So right here, 23 days. So those are the only two numbers that have it show up here in the last 23 days, okay? So if you look at it here, these numbers are cold. Like 1 is hot. You see 1 up here is hot because it's in the first digit right here. So it's not cold, it's not overdue. The last time it came out was it says 1 is hot, which is 4. But the thing about it is 1 came out 20 days ago. Okay. Actually, 1 didn't come out 20 days ago because 1 also 1 is hot because it's not overdue. So that's the reason why this days just shows here. So 2, the number 2 came up here 3 times. But the last 2 came out 13 days ago. Okay, 13 days ago. 4 is also a hot number, which came out 3 times as well, which came out, the last one came out 12 days ago. So if you think, so look at this. So the date on here, it says here number 2, 13 days ago, right? So it says it's overdue 9 days now, right? So if you look at find 2, so let's count backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. See a position here, 2, 9 days ago. And if you look at the 4, it says it came out 8 days ago. So overdue 8. So let's look at that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's here. So somehow it says 8 days here. Let me see. So 8 days. So 4. So that you can look at this too is based on your tracking in the data sheet. So let's pull numbers from here. So 4 came out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 days ago. But somehow my system shows here it's showing it's 9 days ago, 8 days ago. Maybe it's because I'm pulling this as a 30 days. So let's try the last 10 days. Let's see if anything changes. So watch all these numbers will change. I don't think anything will change. So if I put 90 days, yeah, it hasn't changed. This is 8. So, okay, we'll just leave it as that. I'll double check on that, see what's going on. And then the next one is the same thing, the digit 2, which is the second column, right? It says 0. So the hot number is 1 because 1 has came up 4 times again. And this is in the second column here. So if you look at the second column, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's when the ones came out early on. So then the third one, the third column is 5 and 9 hasn't come out yet. So 5 and 9. Oh, I know what I'm doing. I'm confusing myself. So these aren't days. The only days is here. Like this is counting the overdue of the days here. These are together. This is a hot number. These are cold numbers, right? Cold numbers. So these are hot numbers. These are cold numbers. These are overdue numbers. But how many days are they overdue? That's what it's talking about. So it's not the number here. So if you look at number 8, number 8 says 12 days. Okay. So number 8 has come up. The first column says 2, right? So 2 times it came out. So if you go back here into this chart, so number 8 is overdue for 12 days. So let's count backwards. So last time 8 came out was 8 days, 12 days ago. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. See right here. Last time 8 came out was the 11, and then there's nothing here, right? So for 0, the number 0 is overdue for 20 days, which 0 has not hit at all as a first number since the 3rd. See, so 0 is 20 days overdue. So when you play, sometimes you can always base it off of the numbers that haven't hit the first column, the first number itself. Okay, and the same thing with this side. See, overdue 2 days. I mean, number 2 is overdue for 21 days. So then these ones here, the 5 and the 9 has not come out yet this year at all. 5 and 9. So if you go look back on here, in the 3rd position, nothing. There's no 5, there's no 9 that hit yet. So if you're playing numbers, maybe put these numbers in the 9 and the 5 in the 3rd position. Okay, just like that. So that way you can, that's how this the sheet works. So the hot numbers are here. The hot numbers of 1, 6, and 4, 1, 6, and 0, 1, 2, and 4. Like 6 here is a hot number in the 3rd column. Because if you look at the numbers, a lot of numbers that came up this month is 6, 1, and yeah, it's mostly 6s. And because look here, 6s came up 4 times, 6 came up 5 times, 0 in the 3rd column has came up 6 times. Okay, so that's why the 0 is hot, 6 is hot, and then 1 is hot as well. But the 3rd column, oh, well, the 1 is not hot because all these are two times they came up. So I think it's just because it's positioned after the 6s is because it chose the first number. Okay, but just be careful when you look at those. Same thing here. 4. So 1 positioned itself as a hot number because it came out 4 times. 6 is the same way, came out 4 times. And the next number that came up as hot is 4. But then again, 9 has also 3. 5 is also hot. So you gotta look at these. So best way to do it is maybe choose when you're playing is you can use the chart here what number you want to play, but I would probably position it this way. I mean, if you just want to base off of the hot and cold, so that's the way to. So we figured it out. So that's why I was like confused. I thought this number was a cross, but it's not. Okay. So then this is the tracker, so you can always clear it, and this is just letting you know like what number has come up. So whatever number that you put in here, it automatically picks it up here for you. So now you have the 00 to 1,000 numbers that you're tracking yourself, right? So that way you don't keep, so that way you can actually keep track of what have come up, right? So what numbers have come up. And then this side of the sheet is tracking your doubles. So when you put your doubles in here, update, it narrows down all your doubles because doubles only come out 3 times, right? 3 different ways, I'm sorry. So like 600 came out, so now it's 060,006. Okay. So like the numbers that came up today, 600 came out within this last few days, right? So let's say if you wanted to use the temperature sheet, and I was saying 0 in the first position is a cold number, right? Right here, cold number, overdue 20 days. Maybe I can position this as a 0 first, and then the 6 is hot, right? 6 is a hot number, and so I will probably do the same thing. 6, and if I think the 0 might come up again, because 0 over here is a hot number too. Or I might position this as a 9 or a 5. Maybe I can play 9065. Maybe those two numbers. Just maybe position it that way. But we'll look at the rundown here in a minute, and that way we can narrow down the tracking that we can do. Okay, so let's go ahead and go back into the sheet here. But that's how this one works is on the tracker side of it is just track all your numbers of your double pairs, your whatever the pairs you have. Like there's, if you have a triple number that came up, it just narrows down the triple for you because it just removes everything else off, right? One time. But these are the three ways. And then over here, whatever number that comes up, it ticks it off. And even this, like if you go back into the story system, so if I put 1, 2, 3 here, it gives you the full position of the numbers. The 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then from here, it's a single number. It's a sum of 6. The root sum is 6 as well. And it breaks up that into pairs for you. So what it does is AB pairs, which is 12, AC pairs, which is the first and the third position, BC pairs is the 23. And then here it breaks it down into all your different combinations this number will come up as. So it'll come up as 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 2. So then from here is your secret root number. And again, there's a 6 here. And then this side of it is your mirror number. So the mirror numbers are here, so the mirror numbers are here. So if you look at 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 is 6, 7, 8, right? So 6, 7, 8 here. And then it also breaks it down for your root sum, your sum, then the A's and B's pairs, and then all your mirroring numbers of this of the 1, 2, 3 into the 6, 7, 8. Then the flip numbers are here, 4, 5, and 6. So if you go to the mirror or the flip numbers, 1, 2, 3 is 4, 5, 6. Right? So then it does the same thing here as well. Right? So that's the way the setup works. And then on the right side of it here is your rundown. Right? So what's the best rundown to use when this number comes up? So each of these numbers have its own rundown system. So let's look at one of the numbers here. So let's say we run this 734 on the ninth, right? So I put 734. So 734 has updated, gives you the full combinations, gives you the mirroring number, the flip numbers, and then it tells you here what's the best number to run this rundown here. It says 251 is the best number. The number 452, that's the number that came up. Hold on, that's the wrong one. Okay. The number 734 is a single number. It's made of pairs of 7, 3, 7, 4, and 3, 4. The root sum is 5. Vibration of change and freedom. It's a mirror number is 289 and a flip is 067. Based on the past data, 251 rundown works well with numbers like this. Since it's a single with a strong pair energy, watch for numbers like 734, 743, 3 next, and then maybe a 289 as a rundown. So it's telling you to either mix up the numbers again because it might be a repeat, okay? But then it's up to you how you search, right? So 734 was the main number. So let's pull this up. So we're going to go ahead and do a test here. So we're going to go ahead and use 251 because that's what it's saying here. That's the best rundown to use, right? So we'll go ahead and make that. So 251. So what I'll do is, so this number in this column is where you enter your numbers. So from here, when you push select whatever rundown you're using, it automatically does the rundown for you. So you don't keep writing it down over and over and over. Okay, because sometimes that's how we make mistakes, is when we keep writing it down over and over and over, and sometimes that's how we don't choose the right numbers that we need, right? So what I'm doing is I'm using the 734 and I'm mirroring it. So if you look at 7 here, 7 goes to a 2, right? Which is a 2. 3 goes to an 8. And then 4 goes to a 9, right? So that's what I'm doing is 289, 734. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and what I like to do is I always bring this number down into the blue section here. So what I'll do is I'll find a number here. So it's going to be 332, 887, 887. Okay, So we're using the 251. Now the 734 is now in this box for me. Okay, so we got that run down. Now we're going to be looking for the next number. So the way I like to look at numbers here, the 734, sometimes it always plays around this box, around the box of the blue, right? Because that's where the numbers came up. And then sometimes you can always go to the next number here, 4 to the 5 or the 734. So let's see if this number pull any way, shape, or form of how the next number has came up. But this number shows here, let's see. So the next number came up on the next day after the 10th is 994, right? So the number came up as 994. So let's look at this. 0994. So there's a 9, which is the four fours are the nines itself if you mirror them, but they're not connected. So this is a bit tricky one here. Okay. And then if that doesn't work, like down here it says 94, right? But there's no other fours around it, but the fours are up here. So this is the mirror inside of it. So it's really your decision what rundown you want to use, right? So let's take a look at this. So this is the date of the 10th, right? So the 10th is in the 0, right? Here's the 10th. So the 10th goes to the 11, right? So the 10th is here, and this would be the 11th here. This one is not. Yeah, 251. I mean, I'm not a big fan of 251 rundown, but I mean that's what the system that I have here is saying. My favorite rundown is the 888. I don't know if you guys ever used 888, but let's test the 888 out. So we're gonna go back to 734 289 289. So this is my favorite one. So let me bring the 734 into this box here. 734 178 623. All right, so the way this one plays, I always play the 73, well, the 888 number. I base it off of the number that goes to the 8 and the 9, right? 8 and the 9. I don't know, like everybody has their ways of playing it. Like this one here, 99 is here. But the 8 and the 9, anywhere that's 8 and the 9, the number should appear, right? So, but that's this, so 997. So this one is not a, didn't work well either. Probably 317 will be a nice number too. So let me see, let me pull up the 317 here. Okay. Let me check something real quick, just bear with me. Okay. All right, so 317's here. All right, so let me go and update this. So 317 734 289 289. Now we're gonna still bring this number back down here again. So it's gonna be 110 665 665. So where the 4 is at should be the 994. It's down here, 994. See, it's based around the blue. 994. Yeah, it's kind of weird with 317 because 317 is a really powerful rundown. Everybody loves to use a 317. I do too. I use it a lot, especially when I play fully. I go dive deep into 317, and my favorite one is the 888 as well. So 888. But this one is kind of a little harder because the numbers is all just the fours and the nines, right? But this one caught it in the spreadsheet here. It's a 994, right? So let me go ahead and let's try the next number here. So let's try the 994 itself. 994. Go and run this. Now 994, we're going to go ahead and put 370. 825. 825, right? So now the 994 is here, and we're going to be looking at another number to see if this number, so a lot of times this number here is attached. So one of these numbers is attached to the next number. Okay, so let's pull this in. So 994 was the number for the 10. So the 11 is here is 830. Is 830 anywhere near the 4? 830, yes it is. See, 830. That's where it's attached to. Let's make it red. 830. Again, this way, 830 is attached to the 4 up there as well. And then it goes this way, 830 attached way up here. And then this 830 is coming right here. So everywhere that there's a 4, there's an 830 attached to it. Okay. So the 4 itself is where the numbers absorb to that area, like a magnet. Okay. Because the winning number is there. Okay. The other way that most people play too is they base it off of the date, right? So the date is the 11. Most people will say, oh, just keep the second number of the number right here. The date is right here. Here's your date, the 11. See, 830 and 11 and 12. 12 is down this way, so it's pointing down that way to run. The 12 is, this is 21 here. No, it could be 12 too. I mean, if you put it this way as a 1, 830 goes between there too. Interesting, huh? So let's try the next day's number. So it's 830. So let's get the numbers for that. So that's 216, right? 216, 761, 761. Okay, so 830 is here. So now we're looking for the 12, right? So the 12, the 2 is down here. This could be 12, right? But the number is 830. Is this 830? So 830, the 12 is showing here. So somehow it's pulling this number this way. But let's try and look around and see if the next number that we're looking for appears around the 0 or appears against the 12 over here. So the 12th and then the 13th. See, the 13th is down here. So the 13th is, so if we're looking at this 830, it's appearing at 12 here. So let's pull this in, and the 13th is here, right? So let's look at it that way. But the 13 that we're looking at is up here, right? So let's look at if this number is attached somehow to the 553. That's the next number that came up because it's still attached to this 0. See, 553. Okay, so let's pull this up. And sure enough here, the winning number is attached to 553 because the 12 is over here. It's not over here. 553, the 13th is down here. And guess what? The 13th is the absorber, right? So the 13th is here, the 12th, or the 12th. Make sense? So it's pretty interesting, right? So let's go back out. So let's try this again. So let's look at the 553. So this is, we're using the 317, okay? 317 chart. So if this is your favorite chart, this could be a different way of seeing this. And the way this chart works is if you notice that these are 317 rundowns, right? This is a 317, 317. So they're putting three different rundowns all together into one. So that way you don't just see this part here, you're seeing the whole image here, the front and the back side. Okay. So now 553 is the next number that came up. So we're going to go ahead and pull this number here to 939. We're going to put it up here, 484. Okay, so 484. So now we're looking for the date again. Base it off of the date. So the 12th is when the 553 came up, right? So now we're looking for the 13th, right? So let's go look for the 13th. So the 13th is here. It's the number itself is 13. Where's 14? 14th is here. So this is the 4, and this is the 1. So the 4, so this might be the 14th, or this might be the 14th. Okay, so let's do this. So we highlight the 4s. Just do it a different way. So let's go highlight the 4s, right? Now, is there a number that will be attached to this? Let's see, because all the ones are off, but this is the 14. This is also the 14, but it's still pointing back to the 14th here. But I probably stay down here because it's pointing to the 14th is down here because the 4, this can't be the 14. This side of it is still the 14. Because I always say that the teens comes from this number, but somehow it's not. The 6 and 1 4 could be a 14, right? But let's see. So the next number that came up is 752. Okay, 752. Or is that what we're playing? No, we're playing the 553. What am I doing? So we're playing the 13th. So we're playing the. So we just finished playing the 12 to the 13. So we played 11 to the 12, 12 to the 13. So let's back up. Let's take these back off. So the 13th itself is here. Okay. So we're playing 752. So 752 is not attached to any of the threes here. There's a 5-2 here. The 7's on the other side. Right? 5-2, but there's no 7's attached to this 5-2, but it's still attached to the 3. But it's still attached all to the 3. Okay, let's do it down here. Whereas 14 keeps showing. So let's see 13. So let's see if there's 3 here. 7-2, 7-2. So yeah, that's the reason why it's not pulling any numbers is because the data is not put together. Even if I would chose this here, 4-2, but the 7's here. So this one didn't narrow it down like how we wanted it to narrow it down, but it's probably under the 8 side of it. So let's look at the 8s. So we put 7 or 5, 5, 3. See, so now we go to the 13th of the date on this side. See, 13, 13, 13. There's about 752 is probably connected straight across. Right here, look. 13th. Straight across. See it? See right here is all the dates, right? The 13, 13. But this one is showing the 13th is coming from the bottom. 13, 13, 13, 13, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 2, 7, 5, 2, all over, because it's all narrowing down to 13. All right, so, but that's the way that the 8s run for some reason. Sometimes it runs with the 8s itself, because it just crumbles everything into one area. All right, so let's look at let's look at the 22nd number. So let's go to the 22nd was 547. Okay, so 547 9 oh 092. So 547. So now we're gonna bring the 7 down here. So we'll put 981. That's gonna be 436. Okay, so 547 is came by the 22nd. So we look at the 22nd. So the 22nd is here. You see, 547 is the 2 right underneath, showing you that this came up on the 22nd, right? So that now we're looking for the 23rd. The 23rd is here, still attached to the 3. And it might be attached to the 3 here this way too, because the 23rd is here, 23rd is here, and 23rd is here. So now we're going to look at that and see if any of these 23s are attached to the next number. So let's see. So we'll highlight the 23rd here, 23rd here. Let's make them, I don't want to keep the same blue. Let's make them green. Okay. So 23rd and 23rd. So let's pull this number here, 23rd, 398, right here. See, 389, 389. Boom. They're all attached to the 23s. And if you look at the 7 up here, it goes this way too. 389. Still attached back to the 7. Because it's attached to the date of the 23rd. Because look, 23 is here, right? 24th is here. 389 going to the 24th. And if you look at this here too, 23, 24 is here, and it's still glued to here. Because 389 goes back to the 24. 23, 24, 24. So the 24s are all blocking it in. So if we highlight all the 24s, it will show you how it blocks it into. So we're just highlighting all the 24s. 389, 24, 24, 24, 23, 24, 24. Make sense? But it's interesting, huh? Just looking at numbers and charts and stuff. But this is based off of the 888 rundown, right? This is what we're playing here. So 888 rundown is really powerful at times because it crumbles all the numbers, but it still narrows it down. But if we would play with the 317 and with the same information, so let's go back to 547. Goes to 923, 923, 478, 478. So 923. So 547 is here. So now we look at the 23rd, right? So the 23rd is where the number's going to appear. So 923 is the number 23rd here going across. 23 is coming this way as well, right? So if we look at 923, 23rd, 23rd, and so let's look at it from this side. because it's 923. So the number came up as 983. So it's pointing here and pointing here. So this is the 317 rundown. And here's your magic number. It's wrapped around the 23rd. Is it wrapped here as well against the 7? Yep. 983, 983. Still attached back to the 7 here. It's probably attached to the 2 as well. No, it doesn't. Because it's the 23rd is a date. All right. So that's how this one played out, as the 23rd. But if you want to buck it down into the 24, it's probably going to show you the date of the 23rd to the 24th. See? 24. This probably has a 24. No, nothing here. All right, so let me do the last number, 398843. So 398843 be 774 229 229. All right, so for my number to play tonight, let's pull some numbers here. So we're going to look at 24s. So 24 is here, and right here. So this number is 24 is here. My other 24 is right here. All right. So my number, the number that came up was 398. So it's somehow attached to this. So now I'm going to look at the 24th, 25th. Because 398 is probably going to double. Somehow it's going to double. See, double zeros are here. So this 9 needs to position to the third number. There's a 5 that came up here as well. So either the 5 or the 9. So I take one of the zeros. I probably take the 9 into the third position. So I take 0. So let's see if there's a 0, 5. No, I take the 9. I wonder if the 0 is going to position into the first. This is 9, 8. Maybe it's going to double itself here because 20, there's a 4 here. See? And there's 25 here. 081 might just position itself around this 25. So I play 098, or no, 089. I choose, because the temperature sheet here, the 9 and the 5 hasn't come out yet in the third position. See, so the 5 is wrapped around the, I probably play 185. And then the 24th is here. 792. So I play 279. Because 729 goes straight this way. 72 comes back this way. So somehow they're all attached here. So 297. Because here, the 4, 7, and the 9, 8, right? 9, 7. So if you look at the tracker here and the temperature sheet, 2 is a hot number. 7 itself is a whole number, because 7 only came out one time in the middle. That 9 hasn't come out yet. So I probably choose that as well, because I was choosing these numbers up here, the 0. And that's why I have a 0 here. 089, 185, 279. But have these combinations come out this month. 089. Nope. 185, 279. Because if you look at this, the history here, 726 came up twice. Same combination, right? And then the 460, the 46, the 46. This is 416. But the 460 up here came back out on the 16th. 113, which became a 118, 110. So this 6 might double, might flip it around and put it as 0, might become a 069. But then you gotta look at the chart here. There's no doubles of the zeros. There's a double 8, right? There's a double 8. Maybe that 8, maybe the 811 will come back up again. See, 811 played, and right here is 811, 881, 811. So for me to play, I'll probably play the 881 and the 118. That way you have a check on both sides, because 24th is here and it's mirrored it into the 24th. And the 4 is blocking on both sides. And let's choose. So there's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I need 8 numbers. So I got 5 numbers so far. So the next number I'll probably play off of this is I'll go switch this over to 888 column and run this 398 in that section. So 732, 287. Okay, now I messed up my chart. This is all white. I forgot to clear it before I change my numbers. There we go. Back to new. Okay, so 732, so 398. So we're looking for the 24th, right? So 24 is here, 24 is here, 24 is here. So let's highlight those green. 25th is here. So 398 is right here. So we're focused around this 2 and the 4. So there's no 4 in this column. There's no 4 in this column. There's no 4 in this column. The only 4s are here and here, right? So these 3 columns is the only one that has 4s, right? So 398 goes to the 24th. And how cool is the 6 4s? I don't know why, but I'm attracted to this 9, to the 954. 954 or 544. 5. See, the 4 is cool. Overdue 13 days. The 4s are hot in the first of these numbers. But if we put the 8 is here, but the 24th is here. So 9398. 24th is going this way. What about 456? I think I'll play a 544. And then I'll play 4, 5, 9. I need one more. 24, 24. I just play the 24 itself. I choose 2, 4, 2, 4, 5. That's my numbers. All right. Well, I mean, almost made a whole hour video for you guys today, so hopefully you guys learned a lot from this the video today. Sorry I haven't been down here in a while, but just reach out if you guys need any assistance or anything. I'm just working on some new stuff here that's coming up this year, so just keep out on the lookout for new stuff. And if you have any questions, just put it in the comments below. If you guys want to get a copy of the sheet here, it'll be in the description as well. Or you can go to my not my YouTube channel, but my Etsy store. My Etsy store has that information as well, and that can give you like a full details of cool stuff that I have in my store there, which is here's my little store that I have here on Etsy. So if you guys don't know what my channel, my store looks like, I have picked 3 lotteries, a lot of different stuff in here. I mean, this was growing. We have all these different, I mean, I should go through and make some videos on different stuff that I have, but I haven't done that in a while, but these are some of the stuff that I have here. So you have some lottery picks here. They're all different type of spreadsheets. Each of the spreadsheet has its own ways of playing it, each of his own ways to narrow down some stuff here. Okay, so those are some of the things that I have. So I have pick 3, I have Powerball, I have pick 4, I have a couple of Florida Fantasies, Arizona pick. So there's they all have some cool stuff in there. So if you guys want to check it out, it's called Native Digital Products. All right, so you guys have a wonderful day. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed. Like my videos if you haven't liked my video. But if you have any questions, just reach out. Take care. Bye bye.